So I turned 50 this year. That was weird. So I don't know what you do for Halloween when you're 50, but this year I'm actually getting a colonoscopy on Halloween. Yeah, this is true. I gotta get one for sure. It's a good idea if you haven't had one. You're supposed to get one. But the guy said, because I'm having some pretty bad heartburn, he wants to do a look in my stomach. He said, we're gonna do both things the same day. We're gonna go in here and in here at the same time. So this year for Halloween, I'm going as the Windsor Tunnel. So, very convenient, you know. Just show your passport somewhere near the large intestine. 50 is weird, man. It's weird. Like Michael Jackson died when he was 50. That scared the shit out of me. So I'm like no longer taking propofol naps in my oxygen chamber. That was a real wake-up call. Or we'll move on from that one. It's also weird, like the song Landslide from Fleetwood Mac sounds different when you turn 50. I mean, it starts to make you, a tear shed. Have you ever heard that song? If you haven't, Google it, go home and cry in public. I don't want to see that shit. I work at Beaumont Hospital down in Detroit, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Beaumont health system. They just, sorry about that, okay. Because they changed their name, right?
Yeah.
You guys hear about it? Was it Corwell?
Yeah,
Something like that. That's about it. I always wonder which names didn't make it, right? Like, what the hell did you come up? I did that joke and somebody in the front row just went, stupid! That was the whole thing. I was like, that was funnier than anything I was going to say. Anyway, so yeah, Corwell, that's it. I think they could have just instead come up with like an ambiguous symbol and just instead call it the hospital formerly known as Beaumont. That's a Prince joke, so. So it was 3 days after they announced it, and already like a lot of doctors around were just like, yeah, cornhole health, right? They just immediately went to that, right? And if you guys remember a few years ago, they had like this ad campaign, like, do you have a Beaumont doctor? Like now they could just replace it, but do you have a cornhole doctor? I will on Halloween. Sometimes you just gotta have a cornhole doctor, right? I mean, it's fucked up. It's like I'm not a cornhole doctor. I'm actually a pee hole doctor. I'm a urologist. I'm a dick doc. But sometimes I could do prostate checks, so then I am a cornhole doctor at that particular time. But I've seen like a lot of dicks. I've been doing this for 20 years. Like I've actually done the math. I've seen over 10,000 penises, which means that if you line them up end to end, I mean that's like a mile of cock, But that's only if you use the measurements that the men themselves told me, right? I mean, now you're realistic. That's
it's only 1 mile.
Okay, so Nick Pizzuti helped me with this joke. He said he has a 9-inch dick. So I said 10,000 times 9 inches is 90,000 inches. I divided it. Yeah, it's over 7,000 feet. That's over a mile. But it's not a mile. It's the joke is that there's a lot less dick out there than Nick Pizzuti. Nick is an outlier. He's just hanging out there, you know what I'm saying? It's so weird though when I see somebody that comes to my office who really does have a big dick. Like, I don't know what to do. I can't say anything, right? That's completely unprofessional for me to say. It registers in my mind, but like I don't say anything. But I mean, if I did, coming from a guy who's seen over 10,000 penises and hasn't sucked any of them, that means something, right? You would feel good about yourself if I told you you had a big dick, right? Okay, maybe it wouldn't. I don't know. I told Nick this many times. He just shakes it off. So. People ask me, how the hell do you do comedy and be a doctor? That's insane. How the hell do you do that? And I tell them, well, listen, comedy is actually harder than medicine, and here's why. At some point, you're going to have a health problem. You're probably going to need a doctor, right? But you're never going to need a comedian, right? No one's ever been like, oh my God, did you hear Jim? He died. He was only 56 years old. Yeah, but you hadn't been to a comedy club in like 25 years. You're never going to hear that, right? They also say like laughter is the best medicine. Yeah, not if you're incontinent. No. Anybody this side of the room just proved my point? Ma'am, I wouldn't stand up. There might be a little wet spot there, Did you see the little fine print on our flyer? Please wear incontinent pads to my show. I treat erectile dysfunction. You guys ever heard of that, right? ED, right? Yeah, I prescribe a lot of Viagra. Some to my patients. I'm 50 now, guys. I need that shit. You heard my wife. 50 cents, 50 years old. That's easy. Easy math, right? I know. My wife makes fun of me. She's like, haha, your dick doesn't work anymore. I'm like, yeah, he does. He's just cut back his hours. Seriously, back when we got married, my dick was like the Waffle House, man. That thing would be open 24 hours a day. It'd be open during a hurricane. You know, I'd come home late and I'd be like, hey, Robin, how do you want it? Scattered, smothered, or chunk tonight, you know? Some hash browns for you, you know? Now I'm like the Pancake House. That place is closed at noon now, you know? It's just done. The thing's just flat at that point, man. I need some help. I need to pump it up, you know what I'm saying? You know, but my dick turned 50 this year, and you know, much like me, he just wants to spend some quality time with his two boys before they move away from him. You know what I'm saying? They're going down south, man. They're going down to Georgia. I think my dick is moving to Roscommon or something. I don't know. That's the first name I could think of an up north city. Roscommon. What the hell? I don't know. Alpena would have been good too, though, right? Lil Pena.